Well, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Fae Finders, a D&D podcast navigating listeners into the vague and supernatural. My name is Kai, and I will be your dungeon master for campaign Amnesia. And with me, I have the amazing Amancio.
Hello.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. The joyous Jupiter.
Hello.
The kind Caitlin.
Hello there.
And the stupendous Sam.
Well, hi, aren't we just so stereotypical?
Yes, indeed. Now,
Precisely.
let's see what we can remember. All right. So, I'm not going to continue that because, dear God, that's...
Speak for yourself.
Are you just gonna be Batman?
Just going to be Batman for the entire episode.
This is what Farron sounds like now.
All right.
Oh, you're
Another
you're
frog in the
changing-
throat.
You're changing your accent each time.
I was talking to Ashley about doing that, and I think you would kill me, Kai, if I changed the accent every time.
Every single episode, I would probably do so.
Just your character's just testing out what sounds right.
Exactly, yeah.
For the first little bit, it could be funny, but then like once you know more
I gotta
about
settle into
yourself.
something. If
Yeah,
I could do a convincing Irish accent, I would do it.
Oh yes.
Oh, fair.
I can't, unfortunately.
Same, though. I wish I could do an Irish accent.
The best I can do is like a Luna Lovegood.
Yeah. So you guys all found each other in the dark. No memories of who you are or how you got there. But after some investigation and a long debate about some blood, you all were able to find your way out and happened upon a city carved entirely of black obsidian stone. There you found some disfigured bodies and a symbol of a black snake with ruby red eyes carved into the tables of the main building. Having had enough with the ominous place after a bit of searching, you made your way further through the cavern. Solene pressed Nia about their relationship, and it awoke something in her, giving her a glimpse of a memory. After a warm embrace, you pressed on and eventually emerged, finding yourself near the top of a mountain on a small cliff, where a very frantic Zariel whisked you away and led you through the busy streets of Newport Killam. At the tavern, you were introduced to the high elf Milia, who was traveling with Zariel, and were able to get a few answers. It didn't take long for the conversation to shift as to question whether or not you could trust these people, at which Zariel decided to reveal that she was Farron's half-sister. And that is where we left you.
Sorry, my half what?
My half-sister, of course. Like,
On which side?
Dad's, unfortunately.
That, I mean, I'm assuming we didn't grow up together or nothing.
Oh, no, no.
No,
He
yeah,
kicked me out as soon as he realized that I was only half. Though that shouldn't have been a
Wait,
surprise.
yeah. I'm thinking about that now, and I don't know. I feel like, he should have known, right?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't get a whole lot of answers. I just know that I wasn't allowed to go see him, so that was the whole thing. But hey, it's fine. I got to meet Milia. That was cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm assuming I'm assuming you got your voice from your dad or father figure or mother or what have you, and I've got mine from our dad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
great.
like that.
Great. Yeehaw.
Yeah. Any other questions? Cause it's kind of getting a little late. I mean, it's not super late, but it's kind of getting late for me.
What, you got an early bedtime or something?
No, I was just up really early looking for you guys. It's hard work.
I mean, that was mighty sweet of you to do, but I guess I understand if you need to get to bed early then.
I think perhaps we could all use a little bit of rest.
Provided, Zerial, would you mind answering some hard questions come the morning?
Well, sure. I mean, I'll try my best. I don't know how much I'll be able to answer, but whatever I can answer, I will. That's for sure.
Spectacular. Appreciate that wholeheartedly.
I would actually like to inquire about any most interesting places to visit in the city.
Whoa. Well, here, Newport Killam is very well known for the Star Square. That's real pretty. I highly recommend you take a look through there if you want to see something really cool. But I mean, it is a trade port, so the meat market is always cool. You could find anything there. Anything.
Anything.
Really, not just meat?
Not just meat. No, they just call it that. I don't know why. I think it started as a meat market, but then I think once the port burnt down and then was rebuilt, they just kept the name, but the new mayor of town was able to establish better trade routes, so they were able to get more goods. Is that right, Milia? That is what I've heard. But yes, it is getting late.
Well,
And I do tire of listening to quite a few repetitive things. So if you don't mind, I will take my bid farewell. And she gets up and walks out of the tavern.
I'm going to eye her as she walks away with like a side eye up and down. And then just really quickly to Zariel before she walks away. Most interesting about the Star Square, but more pertinently, is there perhaps a library, a grand library? In such a large city, I would assume they would have some place that carries records or other such magical informations.
For half a second, Zuriel gives you the strangest look with a raised brow. And then she's like, right, you lost your memories. Okay, so, quick history lesson. There are no libraries. Only the capital holds that. Ever since the Purge.
Of course, government's always trying to suppress knowledge so they can maintain power. How very capitalistic.
If you want to go to the library, you can, but you gotta go to the capital, and that's way, way up north. But, I mean, I can take you there tomorrow if you really, well, not directly there, but close to there if you really want.
I would very much appreciate that.
Cool. Okay, so that's the plan. That actually works really well because part of our deal was that, and she turns to you, Farron, I need to take you back to see Dad. So that's next to the Capitol. We'll do that first, and then you guys can make your way over. Cool?
Sorry, our dad? Like, the one that I can't remember and you don't know?
Yeah, that one.
Great, I can't see what could possibly go wrong with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. And she gets up and walks out. And then briefly pops back in, like pops her head back in the doorway. Is like, oh, meet here tomorrow morning. And then she disappears again.
Is this tavern also a, like, inn?
It is. Taking a look around, this particular tavern is very nice. Like, it looks like a higher end tavern. But you can see some stairs that go up, and they do look like they have some rooms available.
Companions, what do you think for our accommodations here? Should we perhaps look for something that's more economic, or how is our money situation between the three of us? Or four, wait, hold on, sorry. How many do we have here? Four?
Four.
Deepest apologies, companions. I forgot myself.
Because we don't know quite how long we'll be traveling for, perhaps a more economic approach to this. Preserve what funds we have until we find gainful employment and/or answers, perhaps?
I think that is a wise assessment.
We could see how much the rooms are. We're only staying one night, right?
Yes, that's a good idea as well.
Well, we're staying one night here, but we could have to hole up somewhere else at some point, right?
Yes. I think so.
I'm just going to get up real quick and go to the bar and try and get someone's attention.
Sure. So you make your way over, and it takes a moment. The bartender isn't really paying all that much attention. He's kind of, washing a glass. And this dwarf looks over and up at you. He's got the red scraggly beard and long hair that's kind of like really unkempt, and still looks put together for how wild the hair is. He's wearing absolutely like pristine clothing for a barkeep, and he kind of comes over, steps up on a stool so he's a little bit higher up. What can I get for you?
I just had a quick question. How much would one room for 4 people be here?
One room for 4 people. Well, I mean, it'd be a tight squish. I only recommend about 2 per room, but it's only a gold a night.
Okay, how much? And so would it be 2 gold for 2 rooms then?
That's right.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'll go back to the table. So if we can all fit in one room, it would just be 1 gold, 2 gold if we wanted 2 rooms.
2 rooms seems more comfortable, but 1 room, of course, would be more economic. Kai, really quickly, DM, what is the conversion for? Is it like traditional D&D money system, or is it like, do you have a more simplified version for like copper to silver, silver to gold?
I just keep it as 10 copper to a silver, 10 silver to a gold.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
So then would we perhaps want to each do 5 silver for the rooms?
For this evening, absolutely, but I think in future, perhaps a more economic route, just till we have a better understanding of what's going on.
Absolutely.
I would agree. But our guide just left and we have no memory of this city, so...
Right, perhaps wandering too far right now is unwise.
That's kind of my train of thought. So 1 night here, and then we'll figure out something a bit cheaper the next place we go.
Sounds like a plan to me.
I will head back over to the bar and get the dwarf's attention again and ask for 2 rooms.
Okay. He kind of toddles back over and gets up on his stool again and takes the coin and slides you 2 keys. That'll be room 8 and 9 down the hall on the right, upstairs.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you kindly.
Yep. And he goes back to serving his patrons at the other end of the bar. So, are you guys going to take a little jaunt around, or are you guys going straight to bed?
I think I would like to kind of orient myself a little bit in terms of like a maybe 20-foot radius around this area. So having like this tavern at the center and then kind of like seeing what's like around this neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just say to my traveling companions, I'm going to take some air before heading to bed.
I think I'd like to join you.
That'd
Feel
be
a
lovely.
little bit stifled in here.
And probably best if we all stick together right now.
My thoughts exactly.
Perfection. Shall we go take a jaunt?
Take a jaunt, we shall.
I think it's important to orient ourselves, especially not knowing anything about where we are.
Okay. So, you guys head out of the tavern.
I'm going to directly turn around and look at the tavern to see if I see a name, because I still don't know where we are.
Yes, there is a name that is labeled across the top of the doors. It is the New Dawn Tavern.
Beautiful.
All right. So which way are you heading? Are you heading north, south, east, or west?
Well, I was thinking like a circuit, so like we can start like going like so like what's kind of the layout of this area? Like is it like I'm thinking about doing like a circle kind of thing, like
Okay. There are quite a bit of winding roads that all kind of intersect. If you start to take a walk, even just around the general vicinity of the tavern, you start to notice that a lot of the roads all eventually converge at one point. This particular district in Newport Killam is the Star Square, and it is rightfully named as the actual pattern of the streets in its general vicinity all kind of shape the shape of a star, and then at the center of this star is where the temples of the main gods are. So for where you currently are in the in New Dawn Tavern, you're basically closer to, I would say, the top left point of the star. So if you're looking at the star with the top of the star being north, you're kind of more like a northwest point of the star.
okay. Other than the temples, is there any other like notable shops, notable people that are maybe like look interesting in terms of what they are doing? Any sketchy folk? Looks like they're doing back alley deals of varieties.
So this part of town is very high upscale. For us Vancouver folk, you can think kind of the more West End or like Cole Harbor area where it's like really richy rich. It definitely is like well kept. Everything is intricately carved, beautiful arrangements of stones. There definitely are quite a bit of small little shops, such as like a herbalist shop, You see like a tailor and a lot of the people who are walking the streets, and it is starting to dwindle down from when you guys first came in. But there still is quite a few people wandering the streets even at this time of night. They are all very well dressed in like fine clothing, with like basically like expensive silks and other cottons. So there's not too much as far as like riffraff, or there's not really any kind of like back alley deals per se. It's very well kept, and you do see quite a bit of what is potentially like the guards that run this city. Quite they have quite a heavy presence.
I wonder why there's so many guards in such a nice area of town.
Presumably to ensure that it stays nice.
Or to suppress any rebellion from upper-class citizens.
I don't know that upper class folk are so prone to rebellion.
If they're unhappy with ruling, anybody can be a rebel.
Yeah, but the upper class folk have the most to lose, and presumably are the ones gaining from things staying as is.
They tend to have the heaviest coin purses to line pockets of those in power.
And the greatest investment in keeping things as they are.
I suppose.
I wonder if rebellion elsewhere in the city has caused more guards here, so there are no rebel rousers making their presence known.
Even just crime, you know, sometimes there ain't enough to go around, people gotta eat, and the guards come out to make sure that they're not taken from, again, those who can line the pockets of the decision makers of the city.
Or maybe there's just lots of guards everywhere after this purge that we were told about.
Yes, that seemed a bit strange. Only one library?
I don't like that.
I wonder how recent this purge was.
I mean, we can find out. Can I walk up to someone?
Yeah, sure. You walk up to a gentleman who has a very beautiful lady on his arm. Both of them human. The gentleman looking a little older, the lady a little younger. But they are they are dressed in fine silks. Gentleman in a nice, beautiful tux, and think like more almost Victorian kind of style clothing.
Excuse me, you do fine folk, as I'm sure you can tell myself and my compatriots are from out of town. We've heard talk about some sort of purge that happened in this city a while back. When was that, can you say?
The gentleman and lady stop and look at you with the glance that gives you a sense that you've asked a very, very, very odd question. And he kind of glances you over and then glances at the rest of the party. And with your passive perception, you notice he lingers on Nia before turning back to you.
I'm gonna get closer to Nia. Do I clock that? Do I clock it?
Make a perception check.
Okay. I do. Plus 1? Yes. Okay. 19. 18 plus 1.
19. Yes, you do, like, you are paying attention, so you do notice him kind of, look you guys over, and you do see that he hesitates on Nia.
I'm gonna walk
for a moment
a little bit closer to Nia and like stand slightly in front of her and like give him a dirty look back, like an up and down.
He doesn't really pay you any mind before turning back to Farron, and well, the purge just wasn't here. It was all of Jalen or Jatalu.
Like I said, we're new in town.
You're new to the continent, aren't you?
Yeah, you can say that.
I thought everybody knew of the purge. No, the purge happened about 800 years ago now. And ever since, there has been quite a severe loss in the written records that many of the races had here in Jatalu.
That's interesting. It's been 800 years and still no real recovery of the records?
Oh, well, some of the records still do exist. It's just the king has kept them under lock and key for himself and himself only.
Right, and the past 800 years, it's not just been one king, has it?
No.
No, okay.
Oh, no, certainly not. But they do keep anything that was kept heavily guarded within the castle walls. It'd be a miracle if you were even allowed to step foot in such a place.
Yeah, naturally. Well, thank you so much. Have a wonderful, lovely night, you two. And I lean over to the younger woman. I say, maybe don't get too attached to him. I feel like his eyes are starting to wander.
She just gives you a bright smile, but says nothing, and they continue on their way.
Well,
And Farron,
mm-hmm.
as you come back to the rest of the group, you start to notice that it's not just him. It's a lot of people in the streets that are giving you guys quite a bit of attention, but specifically Nia. A lot of attention.
I can't remember, Jupiter, what you look like. Like, is it a race thing? Are they being racist?
No, Nia looks human.
Yeah, I look human.
Oh.
Like pale skin, short blonde hair.
Right.
I'm not like dressed super, like just like pants and doublet.
I'm gonna thread my arm through Nia's, like doing like the elbow thing, elbow to elbow, you know what I mean. Sorry. And just like keep her really close.
Okay.
Have
good.
I clocked that people are staring at me?
You haven't really noticed anything per se, but if you want to make a perception check to see if it catches your attention, now that, Celine has drawn this to you.
Rolled a 7 for 10.
10. You recognize that people are kind of looking at the party weird, but I don't think you would necessarily clock that it's you specific. You think, like, you would probably think that it's all of you, just because you guys don't really look like anybody from town here.
Just blissfully ignorant.
And then also like pretty standard, I think, that Celine would like be protective of you. And that's kind of the relationship that we had discovered that we had last episode.
All right, so you guys make your way around the Star Square. Are you guys making your way into the middle of it, or are you kind of skirting around the perimeter of it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, would we know or remember or have any inclination as to what like the main gods are in this world?
Nope.
Okay.
But you're more than welcome to stop by the temples and try to find out.
I think that would be a splendid idea.
My tome, I cannot write. I don't have the full, like, I don't think I wrote it down. Was there a symbol on the front of my tome?
No. There is no symbols on the front of your tome. It is just a blue tome that is embellished with gold and white.
Is there a temple that is gold and white?
Yeah, I want to keep an eye out for anything that looks like it would match with my tome.
Okay. Sure. Make an investigation check, just a general one for as you guys walk around.
Can we all be like looking for anything like I would want to be looking for like a snake with like a black and red words don't work right now, sorry. Like a black and red themed building.
Sure. Make an investigation check for that.
I got a 15 on my investigation check.
15. Okay. And you have your modifier for that, right?
Yes. So that was
Okay,
that was with the +4.
Okay. So you do not come across any kind of building or temple within the Star Square that is decorated in the blues, whites, and golds. Actually, as you guys make your way through the Star Square, you start to realize that majority, if not every single building, is made of white stone and cobble. There is slight variations, like some are gray, some are a little bit more cream, ivory, but majority of the theme seems to be white, especially when it comes to the temples. And the temples do stand out quite a bit. Like, you can tell there has been a lot of thought and effort put into each temple as you come across it.
I got a 16 for my investigation roll. So I was looking for like black and red snake things.
Yeah, so you are 100% certain that there is absolutely nothing of the sort in this vicinity.
Okay.
Can I just, like, wherever I'm at, just stop and close my eyes and kind of, like, reach down for that, like, feeling that I had back in the cave before I woke up and see if it pulls me anywhere? Like, see if it, like, if there's a direction that I'm just like, this one.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of stop and take a moment. It takes you a second just because there's so much going on around you, but eventually you're able to kind of calm your mind and focus in on that connection that you had with whoever you had spoken to back in that cavern. And while you don't hear that voice again, you almost feel a warm breeze push you north, and then the feeling is gone.
I'm gonna open my eyes and just start walking north.
And I'm attached to you, so I am going with you.
Nisha or Farron, are you guys looking for anything in specific, or are you just tagging along?
I'm just tagging along.
At this particular moment, I'm also just tagging along, but I feel as though I would shout up to the other two. Wait, ladies, whereabouts are we headed, and or what are we looking for?
Honestly, I have no idea. It's just a feeling that I should go north. I don't know how far, but I at least want to go a little bit.
All right.
And as we walk north, I just want to keep an eye out for anything that reminds me of my book.
Okay, so you guys head north. There's a couple herbalist shops that line the street here, different types of options for either potions or alchemy, those kind of things. There's also a little bit of, or there's a couple shops that do sell magical items. While the shops are closed, you can kind of see a few pieces that were left in the windows. A lot of them look like either, magic crystals or potentially like wands or other focuses that wizards and sorcerers tend to use. And so you continue north for a little ways. Takes you probably about, I'd say about 20 minutes from where you were. And at the very point of this convergence of roads is a beautiful, pure white temple, and it is massive. Like, this thing probably takes up a whole block. It is so big. But while the design on the outside is pretty simple, while still elegant, that feeling kind of rushes back for a second, as almost to say, here. And then it disappears.
Is there anyone outside the temple that I can see?
Nope, there's no one outside the temple, although the front door is slightly ajar. All of the temples here, you get the sense that from what you've seen as you walked around, are open to the public at all hours of the day.
I would like to enter the temple.
Okay.
Of course you are.
And
And
the
I'm
rest of
coming
you
with
follow?
you.
Following suit.
Okay. So, Nia, as you enter the temple, the first thing that hits you is how familiar this place feels to you. Like, it feels like home. And it just kind of settles in, and it's comfortable. And even though you don't remember anything, you can't say why, this is where you're meant to be. And there's a couple acolytes that are dressed in simple, pure white silk gowns that are kind of, doing their prayers or attending to the other patrons that may be offering up their own prayers. And straight ahead, down the aisle at the end, is the altar. And you see this beautifully carved silhouette of a female who looks very familiar.
I'm gonna walk slowly down the aisle towards the altar. And when I get there, I'm just gonna say like a silent prayer. Just kind of, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You told me I have to complete my mission, but how can I complete it if I don't know? I need help, guidance, something.
For a moment, everything is still. And then one of the priestesses comes over. My dear child, what brings you here?
This place feels like home, and yet I have no memory. I'm seeking guidance, some help.
Well, I mean, a lot of people come to the saint in order to seek help. And what kind of help do you seek?
I don't know. There's something that I must do, and yet I don't know what it is.
Well, it has always been said that the saint is here to point the lost in the right direction. She is, after all, the goddess of wind and fate. But I get the sense that whatever it is you are seeking may not necessarily lie within these city walls. And perhaps while you are on the right path, You haven't quite reached your destination yet. Just as you came here on a feeling, I have a feeling you're not meant to be here either. So perhaps, while you are meant to follow the saint, it is not here in this town that you need to follow her to.
How will I know where to go?
That is still to be decided. I have a feeling that the saint walks beside you, more so than you would expect. And it's just a matter of following your heart and doing what you think is best. The saint is willing to guide all of us, especially her chosen few.
Just follow the feelings. I think I can do that.
Sometimes that is all you can do. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have other things to attend to, but I wish you and your companions, she briefly looks at the others, a safe journey, and may the saint guide your road. And she gives a small bow and then proceeds to go about other duties.
I'll give her a nod back before she leaves.
Before she leaves, I'll just repeat back to her, may the saint guide your roads. I'll go rejoin the party.
While we've been standing here, I feel like I would have been observing the space and just seeing if anyone else was kind of clocking what we were doing, if we stood out in this place of worship or not.
Here, no. Everybody kind of seems to be focused on their own.
Did you find what you were looking for?
Not really. At least confirmation that the feelings that I've been getting are actually bringing me somewhere. And not just me hoping.
Small blessing, and we will discover more along the way. I have faith.
Apparently I do too.
Good thing to have, apparently, in these perilous times. Well, shall we go back to the tavern and get our money's worth in rest?
I think that sounds like a wonderful idea.
I could use sleep.
I'm feeling rather like hitting the hay myself.
Okay, so you guys all make your way back to New Dawn Tavern. I'm gonna say no, it's fine.
Why are you gonna make us try and find our way back?
Yeah.
Oh no, I feel like we've been clocking too many areas to really pay attention to it to get lost.
I mean, I can make a survival check.
Sure. Make a general survival check.
All of
And
us.
what's my modifier?
So for Farron, your modifier is a +4.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 may assist.
Okay. So I'll roll with advantage.
Because we've been all especially Celine has been clocking everything that we've been seeing.
That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. And Sam?
Oh yeah, okay. I don't know what my survival is.
Your survival is a +5.
Ooh, nice. I didn't really help that much because I only got a 7. 7 + 5 is not very good.
Okay.
But
still pretty good.
I helped.
Yeah, so you guys, like I said, it is set up in the shape of a star. So all you remember is that you were somewhere northeast when you started. So going in that general direction, you'll definitely get back. Farron, you have no problem. You have tracked things as far as you think you should have, and are able to find the inn with no problem. Or the tavern, pardon me. Tavern and inn. But yes, you guys head on in. You guys can head up the stairs to your rooms.
Who's sleeping with whom?
Boulder parchment shears?
Sure.
I mean, I assumed that.
Me and
Yeah.
Celine would probably
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Likely,
Yeah.
since we
Didn't
well
want to
know each
presume.
other.
Didn't want to presume, but yeah, that makes sense.
I don't think this one will kill me in my sleep.
Yeah, literally.
Well, Farron, it looks like it's you and me.
Sure as sure, Nisha. How about we parchment shears for the bed?
That's respectable.
Doesn't it fit too comfortably? Wait, how many beds in a room?
You haven't gone into the room yet,
Yeah.
so you don't know.
Let's find it.
Let's check the room first.
Okay, so you guys go into the rooms. Who's taking 8 and who's taking 9?
Shoddy 8. Let's go.
I guess
All
we're
right.
in 9.
Okay, sounds good. So room 8 has 1 double bed and room 9 has 2 singles.
Whoa, easy.
That
Worked
makes
out.
sense anyway. We're fine.
And no, I did not plan that.
That's so funny. It just
No,
worked out.
I literally have it written down in my notes here.
I love that. Okay, so we just made it work. See, omnipotent
Yeah.
or not omniscient, clairvoyant. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
there you go.
voyant.
There you
Yes. Got it. We did it.
All right. Are you guys heading straight to bed, or are you guys chatting for a little bit before hitting the hay?
I think finally having a moment alone with Celine, I would want to see what she remembers.
Yeah. Yes. I don't remember much, but I had a dream, and I was told by someone who looked very much like me, but wasn't me. Could have been me, but wasn't. And I saw you, and I just know that you're my best friend. It's a feeling, but I can't place anything else really. Unless I got a vision about our friendship when we embraced.
No, it was only Nia.
Yeah, I am not sure, but I do know that we're supposed to be friends.
All I got was that one flash. But maybe the more time we spend together, something will come up.
I think so. But yeah, I just saw you in a dream. I guess that must mean that we're very, very close. As I remember you above everything else, even above myself.
Agreed. We must have known each other for a very long time.
Well, I'm glad we at least have each other, if nothing else.
And then we go sleep.
I guess. Yeah?
I was gonna say, like, as we lay down, like right before I fall asleep, I want to see if I can make my hands glow again.
Sure. Yeah, easy enough. You kind of reach for that well of magic that you remember feeling and are able to pull it to the surface, and that soft white blue glow encompasses your palm.
And it was like just super easy.
Yeah, super easy.
All right, I just let it go out and go to bed.
Okay, sounds good. Farron, Nisha, anything you would like to do before bed?
Nisha, have you had any inklings of or any inclinations of the sword as to what you're doing here or what you had going on before we woke up back in that cave? Because I have a sister apparently and at least one living parent, so that's news to me.
And heavy news indeed. For myself, before I came to and met all of you again, I had memories, or perhaps dream of my sister. But looking at her invoked such sadness within me, and I could never quite reach her. And if I were to take that just on face value, it leaves me with the feeling that she's no longer with us. But I can't quite place that. And other than that, it was my struggle to release myself from the ocean front that I found myself facing. It was a brand new and yet familiar place all in the same time. If I'm being perfectly honest, part of me feels a little bit hesitant to remember anything.
I can understand that, especially if you are operating under the assumption that your sister's passed, but it could always just be that she's only out of your reach for now. For all you know, this dream could be telling you to push harder, that she is within your reach, but that it's not going to be an easy journey. I mean, that's just me looking on the bright side of things and all, but...
Fair, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
I had a dream too, but Zuriel wasn't in the dream. My father wasn't in the dream. There were these animals. I was alone in a forest, a jungle, really, and they were saying how I was the cause of their death, how I was the reason why they all perished. And the guilt was overwhelming. It made it almost impossible for me to get out. And I have no clue as to what that might mean. So, I mean, I'm hoping it doesn't mean that I've slaughtered countless woodland creatures, because that would be quite the depressing notion. And so I'm also hoping that your sister is alive and well and out there somewhere. And who knows, maybe we'll find her.
Let's hold on to that optimism, Farron. Who knows, perhaps these dreams were brought on by that despicable place we found ourselves with a blood altar. Perhaps we could not have a good dream in being such an environment. Perhaps these dreams weren't memories at all, but our worst fears being invoked.
I think you might be onto something there, especially considering there must have been some force that robbed us of our memories. And as you implied, that force might be the very same force responsible for those dreams we had.
Absolutely. So let's both not take heart on those despicable dreams that we had, and use them as a catalyst to push us further.
Agreed. And let's hope for better dreams tonight.
Absolutely.
Sleep tight, Nisha.
Sleep tight, Farron. And just before I drift off, I pull out the katana that I found next to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just admiring the sheath, and I'd like to take time to meditate on it and see if focusing in on it invokes any other memories, if I feel a greater connection to it.
Okay, sounds good. So you take that time to attune to it. I will send you the stats that you gain by attuning. And as you all drift off to sleep.
I fall asleep with the, and this might interfere with the Nisha's meditation, but I fall asleep with a.
It does not bother Anisha. But yes, as you all fall asleep, a sleepless night or a dreamless night takes all of you. And morning comes rather quickly, not realizing how exhausted you guys were from the day of traveling. Sam, I need you to choose a phase of the moon. So,
I get to choose?
you get to choose. So you get to choose between either the full moon, the new moon, or the crescent moon. And keep in mind that depending on which phase you choose will determine what spells you have access to.
I will choose. Okay, here's my rationale. Here's my reasoning right now. If I pick the new moon, then I have to wait a whole month again for special things that I already know about. If I pick the full moon, that could be interesting. And then if I pick the crescent, you know what? Let's go full moon. It's the full moon.
Okay. You pick the full moon. So, you guys all wake up to the bustling of the tavern down below. Even early this morning, it's gotten quite rowdy as is. And you all emerge from your rooms after taking a moment for yourselves and head downstairs. And you all notice that where Celine didn't have any pupils, now she does.
I guessed what I am. I got it.
Yeah. But you guys all make your way down. You quickly scan the tavern. You do not see Zariel and Milia yet. You guys are welcome to take a table, or you guys are welcome to wander. All you know is that you were told to meet here in the morning, and that's about all you got at this moment.
I think we should order breakfast.
I concur.
I'll go up to the barkeep and say, excuse me, I would like to request 4 of your cheapest breakfast options. That is the most hearty, but cheapest.
It's the same dwarf as last night. He kind of looks at you, gives a nod, and...
Do you have any vegetarian options?
Yes, I can arrange for one.
Thank you.
That'll be 4 silver.
Each or in total?
Total.
Ah, yes.
Silver each.
I hand over my silver. Actually, can I give him 10 copper pieces? Get rid of some change.
Sure. You can give him 10 copper. That is only equivalent to a silver.
I hand over a silver for my food.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
we're each
So-
paying for
I think
ourselves.
we're all
also
paying
give
for
a silver.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're splitting the bill.
Just so we're all clear.
Oh, yes.
Okay. But yes, you can hand over 10 copper for your payment. Everyone else hands over a silver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so you can mark that out of your money.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of takes a moment, counts it out, nods, and pockets it. And then he goes around the corner and you hear yelling. He's like, "Got a seat. I'll be out soon."
Thank you.
Yeah. And goes back to whatever he was doing, just like wiping the counter and like talking to other patrons that are sitting at the bar with him. He seems very, like, very standoffish, but at the same time, like, he likes to chat with the people that seem like he seems to know.
An introvert of my own heart.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
How did you all sleep last night?
Truthfully, like a log.
Good. I think we all very much need the rest before we start our next adventure.
Can I speak to the chef?
You want to speak to the chef?
Yeah. Or the dwarf. I don't know if he's the chef or just the waiter.
No, he's just the barkeep.
Okay, I'll speak. Can I speak to the barkeep?
Yes.
What's your name, partner?
Draven.
Draven, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name's Farron. We're not from around here. What are your favorite parts about the city? How long you been living here?
Well, I've been here for about 78 years now. And, I don't know, but meat market's kind of cool. You can find a lot of random stuff around there from all over Jtalu.
Weird stuff. Oh, now what kind of weird stuff are we talking about here?
Oh, well, you can find a lot of stuff from all around Jtalu. You've got stuff coming in from the Ilmandu Islands.
Really?
You've got stuff coming in from Calfurni and Vestirg, but no, some of the other stuff has been cut off recently. Well, it ain't no matter anymore. Guess it'll all get sorted out eventually.
Oh, well, I mighty appreciate you sharing. You take care, Draven. If we're ever back in town, we'll be in touch. Can I slide him an extra silver?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He kind of eyes it for a second before pocketing it and gives you a nod.
And then give him a salute back.
Sorry, I missed that. What was the dwarf's name?
Draven.
Drayden.
Draven.
Draven.
With a V, yeah. Okay. So you guys are all sitting and eating at the moment?
Yeah.
Trying to be
Scarfing it
dainty,
down.
but starving, so I'm eating quite quickly, but I'm trying so hard to maintain decorum.
Okay. Sounds good. So as you guys are eating, Milia and Zariel do walk in towards, the tail end of you finishing off your breakfast as it arrives. It's not anything super special. It's pretty simple. Like for Farron, it's just some fruits and some oatmeal. For the rest of you, it's some sausage, an egg, and a little bit of potatoes.
Nice.
But it is good nonetheless. Well worth the silver that you paid for it. And you all look up as Zariel rushes over and is just like, "Morning, guys! How's it going? Are you all feeling better? Yesterday was wild, wasn't it?"
Indeed. The rest was much, much needed.
Yeah, you're telling us. Yesterday, none of us knew our names.
Yeah, that's true. I had to tell you guys. That was weird. Anyways, so we guys, or I guess we're all going to was Jalen Forrest, right? I said I had to take you back to your dad's. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it sure will be. What's his name?
I don't know.
Oh. Well, when was the last time you saw him?
Well, I haven't. So,
Oh.
yeah.
This'll be interesting for the both of us then. Well, just know, Zuriel, that as far as I'm concerned, I know you far better than I know him, so I'm on your team regardless of what goes down.
Cool. And she kind of gives like a awkward thumbs up and takes a seat.
Awkwardly put my arms out for like a hug.
Yeah, she just sits.
Well, at least with neither of you knowing his name, you can simply call him Father.
Oh, I don't know if that would go over very well for me. I don't even know if I'm allowed to set foot there. So, it'll be fun for the both of us, regardless. But hey, you know.
Zariel, what is the name of the capital city?
Jalen.
Oh, and then the forest is also Jalen.
Well, it's Jalen Forest.
I see.
But that's because it encompasses the capital city, Jalen.
Right. Thank you for the clarification.
No problem. I gotcha.
I appreciate it.
You just see Amelia roll her eyes and sit down too.
So, Ziriel, this has been bothering me since last night. You said we were here in the city for a week before you took us to the Fragmented Mountains.
Yeah.
And then in the mountains for a week.
Yeah.
Did we mention what we were going there for?
Nope. Not at all. Thought it was weird. You guys didn't want to tell anyone. It was kind of really hush-hush.
Okay. Second part. The Fragmented Mountains. So far as you know, what is known about them?
Not much, to be honest. They're a real scary place. Nobody goes there after nightfall. You don't want to get caught by the Night Stalker. That thing is scary as all sin.
Sorry, the Night Stalker?
Yeah, the Night Stalker?
Yeah. Big giant demon thing. Very scary. Very, very, very powerful. Nobody's ever ran into it and lived. Don't know how they know about it then. Weird. Anyways, yeah. Night Stalker equals bad, equals death. So just don't go in the mountains after dark. Yeah? Okay. Although,
Understood.
daytime is fine.
Before we went into the mountain, did we buy a bunch of supplies or...
Nope.
Okay.
Is night spelt with an N or a K?
An N?
I see.
I think?
I mean, it's gone
Like
an N
nighttime.
either way.
Like nighttime,
Yeah, like
not
Night
like
Stalker.
Night Stalker as in like Paladin Night. Just wanted
No.
to clarify.
Yeah.
It's important
No,
for
no,
my
as
own
in-
personal records.
I get that. No, it's night as in the fact that it only comes out at night. No idea what it does during the day, but it won't bother you if it's daylight out.
And no one has ever seen one.
Well, no one alive.
Is there a particular description for it?
Just a big black thing.
Just like a shadow?
Yeah, something like that.
Is there any lore around it surrounding, like, sucking the life out of you? Or do you just disappear?
Well, sure. I mean, so what I've heard is that first you go mad, and then you die of fright. And there's no escaping it. So if you've already run into it, then you're already dead, and it's just best to say your prayers.
Okay.
Yeah. Either way, there's not much about it. Like I said, it's been around since, I think since the dawn of time is what people say, at least. But you'd have to check the library in the capital for that. No records here of it.
Everyone loves a good ghost story.
Everyone loves a good ghost story indeed. I don't.
I find it intriguing, but perhaps we best not meet this Night Stalker just yet.
Agreed, that doesn't sound like someone we would want to come across.
I don't think you'd ever want to meet it ever, but to each their own, I suppose. And Farron, since you have a passive perception of 20.
Yeah. Oh, good to know.
Just an FYI. You notice that
Milia, she actually really seems to be very uncomfortable with this line of talk.
Milia, have you ever heard of the Night Stalker or seen it?
No, that is one thing that I wish I will never have the opportunity to lay my eyes on in this lifetime. You should wish the same.
Mm-hmm.
But since prying ears would like to know, there is a legend about it that has existed for some time.
And can I ask what that legend is?
I'm not so inclined to tell.
Is there no way we could persuade you?
No. And I do think that your energy would be better spent elsewhere, and it best to leave the Night Stalker alone. It's best you don't play with things you don't know. Besides, as Cyril said, as long as you don't enter the mountains at night, there's nothing to worry over.
That sounds very ominous, though. What do you think is the most pertinent thing to worry about at this time?
There is a lot going on right now, and while most of it is not necessarily felt within city walls, it doesn't mean it isn't there.
Are you speaking of another type of creature? Or a political issue?
Perhaps both.
I see. That is good to note.
Oh, yeah. You guys don't remember anything about the Fallen, do you?
No.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well,
What was fallen?
I don't know, actually. But yeah, ever since, earlier this year, I think, the Fallen have been coming around. Real creepy things.
Do they look like elvish in nature, with elongated limbs and mutilated figures?
Oh gosh, so you do remember them.
I see.
Sorry, what's this about?
The creatures we saw that were dead in the mountain.
Wait, you ran into the Fallen and you're fine?
I mean, they had already fallen at that point.
We are also very mighty in our own natures, and can withstand a lot more than I think you might give us credit for.
Huh. Fair enough.
So with these Fallen, they started earlier this year, showing up haphazardly. Were they attacking city centers or wooded areas?
Well, It first started with a couple attacking some traveling merchants in the woods or along the paths, and then it progressed to, small towns, small little like farming towns that didn't necessarily have like city walls to protect them, and then after that, it just escalated from there, and then suddenly it just all stopped. At least for a little bit. Actually, for a week. Weird. Anyways, yeah, and apparently there was a couple farms near here that were attacked last night, so that was cool.
By Fallen.
Did the attacks stop while we were under the mountain?
Actually, yeah.
Sorry,
That's
I'm
a weird
taking so
coincidence.
many notes.
Yeah.
All good,
I
guys.
have-
I can always cut out silence.
yeah.
Like sitting here with my chicken scratch, like
I know, me too. I'm like trying to organize this as best as possible, but I'm just like writing down everything because I don't know what's an important detail. It's
See,
all
I'm writing on a
important
legal
details.
pad. I'm writing on a legal pad, and then I'm transferring it to a notebook.
Yeah,
Same.
smart. Yeah. So like yes, we got this. Perhaps we had something to do with the Fallen taking a hiatus.
I want to know, though, if no one goes to the mountain, especially at night, how were we in there an entire week and come out unscathed?
I wouldn't
Not
go so
unscathed.
quick. Yeah.
Well, memories aside.
Yeah, you guys did lose your memories, so, can't really say completely unscathed. But I mean, like, you don't look hurt, so that's a good thing, right? But yeah, no, I dropped you off in like the middle of the day a week ago, and then I've only been patrolling the mountain during the day because I ain't doing that at night. Nuh-uh.
And where the Fallen attacked last night, the farms, they were near here?
Yeah, just a little bit north. We've got a few farm lands that are outside the city walls, that supply like food to the city here. Yeah, they kind of burnt a little bit. I think a lot, actually. I don't know. I haven't really paid that much attention, to be honest. But
I have two
Things.
questions for you. Did we enter from the north side of the town?
no,
Okay.
no, we came in from the east,
Right.
or yeah, east.
And do the Fallen have any particular powers that they use, or do they just claw their way through their victims?
No, they just claw. Like, they're nasty, monstrous things. They no intelligence, no nothing, just like pure rage and instinct to kill.
It's interesting you say that because when we saw them, they were sitting around tables, they were sleeping in beds. It didn't seem like a bunch of mindless freaks. It seemed like people going about their lives in a city that all of a sudden just...
Are you sure we know the same Fallen? Because that's weird. No, there's no way. Nah, those things are pure monsters.
I'm gonna ask the two of you if you recognize this, and I try to draw the snake symbol with the two ruby eyes on like the back of a... I guess it wouldn't be a paper napkin, would it? I pull out like parchment and a quill from my bag.
Okay. And you draw the symbol. I'm gonna say make a performance check to see if you can draw this accurately.
Hey, what's my performance?
Your
Modifier.
performance modifier is a +1.
Nice. Okay, that's a 15.
15. Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty good representation. A little rough around the edges, but it gets its point across. And both Zariel and Milia kind of lean over and look. And they look at each other for half a second. And then look back at you. And Zariel addresses you first. Well, I ain't never seen anything like that, that's for sure. That's really creepy.
I want to see if she's lying. Insight check.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can I assist?
Sure. You can roll your own.
Oh.
Yeah, I would also like to roll my own.
Okay.
I have +5 insight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is 16.
14.
16? Okay.
I have +4 insight, question mark?
Yes, correct.
That's 14.
14. Okay. Nope. She, as far as you are concerned, she's been pretty much telling the truth this entire freaking time.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. Is not much enough.
As far as you're aware, she seems
Honest.
way too, like, outgoing and eccentric to really kind of put together a lie on the fly like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Milia also just shakes her head. Can't say I have.
Can I insight that?
Yeah, is she lying?
Make your insight check.
Okay.
All right.
And I feel like I would
18
jump in
plus
on
5.
this one.
Oh, Sam got
26.
Oh,
At 13.
and a 13. All right. So, Solene and Nia, you guys are starting to get really good at not trusting this particular high elf. She's definitely lying. She knows a lot more than what she's letting on. You can tell that she doesn't feel like it's her business to say, or there's something keeping her back from being able to say the truth, whether it be an internal conflict or something else.
Can't say you've seen it, or won't say you've seen it.
Perhaps won't is a better choice of words in this situation. I feel like it is not my place to say.
And why will you not be forthcoming?
There has been a lot that has been lost to time, and perhaps for a good reason. I believe that it is better off we leave it that way.
I think perhaps it's not if this is starting to show up around the fallen.
It's not necessarily something to do with the fallen in the way that you're thinking.
Then perhaps you should enlighten me. Can I persuade or intimidate or like press her in this way? Like whatever makes sense.
I'd say if you want, you can try to intimidate her a little bit. Now remember, you are dealing with a high elf, and you have no idea how old this high elf is.
Can I softly intimidate?
How so?
Like, can I like press without angering her? Can I like okay, I'll say perhaps if the fate of lives in this city and in others in this country are at risk, I think it would be wise for you to share any information that might be of use, so that we may all do our part in stopping this crisis.
Okay.
Is that softly intimidating?
Yeah.
Okay.
Make an intimidation check.
Okay.
Or actually, I'll allow a persuasion in this situation.
Oh, I don't mind which one. I'm happy with either one. I just didn't want to like enrage her into the point of like a physical altercation.
Yeah. Do persuasion.
Okay. That is 6 plus I don't know yet.
Plus 9.
+9.
Dang.
+9?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then 15.
15. Okay. She kind of leans back in her chair and crosses her arms, eyeing you, studying you. And for a long moment, the only sounds that you guys hear are just the bustling of this tavern area. People, laughing, shouting, drinking, conversations. And then she sighs and leans forward and motions for you to do the same.
I do. And I look her dead in the eye and maintain, intense eye contact in, I'm going to match you in strength and willpower.
Listen well, Lunar Sorcerer. When it comes to things that you do not understand, sometimes not having the answers is but a blessing.
I do not.
You may call it willful ignorance if you like, but there is a reason why this knowledge is lost, and a very good one at that. The only thing that I will say is that symbol belongs to Beltog, and that is all you'll get from me. And she leans back in her chair again.
I do not believe that ignorance is bliss, but I do appreciate the tidbit that you just bestowed.
She just nods.
I have a theory.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps the Night Stalker produces the fallen. Those are the victims. If they go mad and die of fear, perhaps they turn monstrous before they drop.
Oh, that's a good theory indeed. I never thought about that.
Well, they were petrified, the corpses that we found in the mountain.
Huh.
But they didn't seem to be driven mad to the point of being monsters. They didn't tear each other to shreds. It seemed like they had a life down there.
Well, perhaps they did have a life, and that's the city that they dwelt in. Perhaps they don't attack their own because they know that they are comrades for a purpose.
Could be onto something there, I suppose.
Well, it's the only theory I have so far, and I think starting to put pieces together is anything to start us getting anywhere.
And I think unraveling the greater mysteries that this world holds might need to come secondary to doing our own soul searching and figuring out our own personal mysteries.
Simultaneous exploration.
Oh, naturally. But I'd say if everyone's ready to go, we might make for the forest.
Oh yeah. We're still doing that. Okay. Yeah. Are you guys ready to go? Do you have all your things?
I believe so.
I just have one more question, Milia. Not to put you on the spot. But say this information is something we do choose to pursue. Would that be in the library? Or would that be something the king has perhaps left forgotten?
That I cannot say. I am not entirely sure what knowledge the king has kept after the purge, or at least the previous king at that time.
Thank you for your time.
And Ziriel just shoots up out of her chair and she's like, okay, we're going, right?
Yes.
Yeah?
Okay, let's go. We gotta find a tree. We gotta leave town.
Just any tree.
any tree.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Milia, are you coming? I don't suppose why not. Great. Okay. I knew you would, so that's fine. But let's go. And she kind of like pulls at Milia's chair to like get her up. And you can tell she's like really excited but really nervous about all of this at the same time. Like she's not entirely sure what to make of all of this, but all she knows is that she gets to show off a little bit. So she leads you all outside of the tavern. She does take you east, so you do go through the Star Square again. And again, you do notice that there is still a heavy guard presence in the Star Square, but it's not as heavy as it was last night. And now that the sun has risen, you can see that specifically the temples themselves, each are made of stones so smooth that they reflect the sunlight in a glint.
I note the beauty and give a little smile.
And she's like, so did you guys take a little bit of a walk through here?
We did, actually, last night. It was quite magnificent, but even more glorious in the light.
Oh yeah, this place you have to see in the light, because the way that the temples are made, depending on the time of day, depends on which ones shine the most. It's really cool. But I mean, the Temple of Light, the middle one there, that one always shines, because you know it's the Temple of Light. Why not? But then you got the Temple of the Saint, and then you've got the Temple of Malia, and that's Malia. Yeah. And then you've got the Temple of Hako, and then and she's pointing to each direction of where these temples are. And then the Temple of Sa and the Temple of Varuna.
Is there a lunar temple? Something of the moon?
Oh. No. Not here.
I see.
Temple of the Moon. I think that's in the I think that's what the desert worships. Terkskew Desert. Isn't that right, Milia? Yes, it is a goddess of the Terkskew Deserts. That is for certain.
What is her name?
As far as I am aware, she goes by many names. Luna being the most common.
Perhaps I'd like to see that temple one day.
Perhaps. It is a very beautiful temple to visit at night, especially during the full moon.
Serial, my utmost spunky tour guide. I do believe I've missed one of your temples. I've got Light, Malia, Hako, Sa, and Varuna.
Oh, and the Saint.
Saint.
Up north. Yeah. Otherwise known as Eos.
Okay.
Eos?
Oh, you guys went to the Saint? That's cool. That one's really pretty. One of the better ones, other than the Temple of the Light, that's for sure. Although, usually the Saint and the Light temple are typically go hand in hand. At least in lore. But yeah, so that's Star Square. If you were to go more south, that's where the meat market is, because, you know, it's near the docks, because trade. And then if you go more north, that is, well, we call it Ruffian Square, but it's actually known as Third Town. And well, you don't want to go there. It's fine. It's for the farmers. Mostly. Yeah. And she continues to lead you through the city. And she's like pointing out, like little things like, oh, that's where I usually go and get my clothes fitted, because they're great. They're like, the lady there, super, super good. Pristine in detailing and everything. And that's where I get my shoes done, because they're the only ones that can make them feel comfortable. And she just goes on and on and on as she leads you through town. And eventually you guys do reach the city walls, and you step out, and it's actually quite beautiful. There's a little bit of a field with pretty green grass compared to how close to the mountain range you guys are, and how south this town is. And then you've got, the initial like forest before the mountain range. And she just starts heading for the closest tree. Okay, so we're gonna tree stride, because that's the fastest way to do things. Unless one of you can teleport, I don't know.
I would love to try tree striding again with you, Zero.
I would love to do that as well. I would love to see if I can conjure a portal, though, just in case for any future potential need.
Oh, cool. Well, you'll have a lot better use for that in the capital city, honestly, because that's where all the teleportation circles are. So they can kind of show you, what goes where. Makes things easier, I think. Right, Milia? Yes, dear. Okay, cool. But yeah, we'll tree stride for now, because, again, easiest. And she reaches for the tree and puts her hand on it. She's like, okay, everyone through, let's go! And this portal opens up in the tree.
When we land, can I deduce if Milia is Zariel's mother?
Oh.
Because she's I would like to ask. Actually, I'm just going to ask. Milia, Zariel, are you mother and daughter?
No. Milia is actually my bodyguard.
Oh.
Yeah. Weird, huh?
Interesting.
May I ask, why do you have a bodyguard?
Oh, 'cause Mama said so.
And who's Mama?
Oh, well, she's the mayor's wife now.
So you're the mayor's stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Great, that's good for you. I'm so happy for you.
Thanks. It's kind of nice. I assume that we're all having this conversation after you guys step through.
Yeah. Once we land.
We're just standing on the other side, like talking through the tree.
Cause this only lasts for like 6 seconds.
Yeah. Once we land.
Yeah. So you guys are all on the other side. The portal has closed behind you, but you've all stepped through. Milia as well as the last one through. And she just kind of crosses her arms over her chest. And the job pays well. And quite frankly, it gives me something to do that isn't boring as all sin.
And what was it you did before you were a bodyguard, Muriel?
Milia. I was a bookkeeper of sorts.
How old exactly are you? Did you live to see the first king?
Old enough.
Or have you kept books at the library in the capital?
I was not privy to keep any books at the time of the purge.
So you were alive to see the purge.
I was.
But you believe in blissful ignorance?
I believe I have seen both sides, and were it me, I would wish not to know.
I would wish to know.
Most people who don't do.
And some people who do wish are satisfied whence they learn.
Well, and she looks at you specifically, Nia. Perhaps the king will grant you access to whatever it is you seek.
Are you insinuating that Nia has a connection with this king?
Well, Nia is the king's daughter.
Oh, that's what I was getting from that. Oh my god. That's why people are looking at you.
Oh, okay.
Then if you know that Nia is the king's daughter, and Nia and I have been friends since the very beginning, do you also know what our relationship, how I fit into this royal court?
There was a tournament in which you won, and it granted you any wish, and your wish was to be her advisor. So you have been by her side ever since, even before, I believe.
Nia's just kind of like standing there looking a little like shell-shocked, like I'm who? I'm a princess? And just kind of just stares straight ahead.
What kind of tournament was it that I won?
Juggling.
Juggling, yeah, definitely.
I'm
You were the
thinking-
best juggler in all the realm.
That's canon now. Something of the magical variety, perhaps? Oh my god, perfect.
Perfect. Literally.
I almost said shut up at the end of that.
You should put that as a quote, like, right now.
Yeah. Sorry, you had asked Amelia about the tournament, correct?
Yeah, like, what kind of tournament was it?
A tournament in which you demanded.
Of what variety? Magical or physical or combat related? What, intellectual based?
All sorts. The challenger was able to choose what the match was.
Who did I fight?
A lot.
These cryptic answers are growing ever tiresome. Are you going to be straightforward with me?
Well, where's the fun in that?
I suppose.
Amelia, what king would allow his daughter to go venture to the dangerous mountains where she could very well encounter the Night Stalker? Why were we allowed to go where we did?
I think that is perhaps a better question for the king. Coming from me, it may not have the same reception.
Fair point, but I feel like the king's just going to try to cover for his ass. I'd rather hear it from someone who's not the king.
I think that he will be more than happy to explain things when he sees you guys.
So we've already met the king.
Indeed.
Great. Wonderful. And I suppose Nisha and I are just lucky souls who managed to fail our way up to meeting the king.
I don't know if you would be best to call yourselves lucky in this situation, but
Right, of course.
I suppose that is the best way to put it.
Great. Just checking. Wanted to make sure I wasn't secretly the High Wizard or anything.
Oh, no, that role is taken by Celine.
I am the High Sorceress.
At least in Jalen.
Very well. And she kind of looks a little bit smug, like, I knew I was highborn.
Right. Well, Nisha, you heard the lady. We're chopped liver. And let's move onwards.
Onwards and upwards?
Zariel is still looking between Milia and Nia and Celine and just like,
You guys didn't tell me she was a prince. The princess. Oh gosh. Oh, that makes a whole lot more sense as to why it was all hush hush. Farron, that's not okay. That's rude. You shouldn't have done that to me as your sister.
I was about to say the same thing. You're saying I, as your half-brother, didn't tell you that this was the princess?
No!
Seems mighty implied of me. I apologize. I understand why you're upset. I'm upset with me, too.
Oh. And then she instantly turns to Milia and is just like, You didn't tell me either. That's not okay. You're supposed, like... Milia just smiles and starts walking off through the forest.
What if she's making it up?
Oh no. We should have incited. Retroactive? Like rumination? Insight check?
She's already leaving.
You were both so happy to believe it, too. Why would you insight check it?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, Milia's already gone. That's gone.
Nisha kind of bounds up next to Milia. So, Milia, do you know how our ragtag party became to be?
I do.
And is that another tale for the king to tell, or will you share it with us?
I believe it would be a better tale for the king to say.
Well, obviously, as High Sorceress and as Nia's advisor, it would only be sensible that we would stay together. But yes, Farron and Nisha, how you became part of our traveling squad, that will be an interesting tale. I look forward to knowing.
You all started walking off, and Nia's still just standing there, just like staring, like glazed over, just like.
Come on, princess. We've got a father to see.
Oh, right. And she starts walking forward.
All right, so you guys follow Milia and Zariel through the forest. This particular part of the forest, it looks like it had once been pretty dense. You can see remnants of what was once perhaps a great fire that ripped through this forest. There's still burnt husks of trees, as well as a lot of new growth that is starting to pop up from the forest floor. And while it still does let in enough light in order for you to be able to see quite clearly, it is dense enough that it is quite dimmed, for it being at this point probably early afternoon or at least late morning. And the whole time that you guys are walking, the forest is extremely loud with different types of bird calls. You hear a couple crickets here and there, some animals skittering through the bushes and along the treetops. There is quite a bit of life, despite the remnants of the whatever fire had come through here. And eventually, you guys do come across some stone ruins. At least the way that they're laid out, it looks like they may have once been buildings, perhaps a part of a town. And Milia looks very saddened and tries to keep her eyes just straight ahead and not necessarily look at the ruins of this area. And a little ways past where the last ruins were, you see tall wooden walls start to appear in the distance.
Two-eyed clock.
And
oh, sorry.
Oh, and along those walls, you see elven archers.
Two-eyed clock that Milia looked sad.
It's not very apparent on her face. It's more so she just kind of kept her eyes forward, didn't really look around. Farron would have caught it.
What's my passive perception?
13.
13? Okay.
Milia, you seem to know an awful lot about things and such. Do you know what happened here?
There was a great fire about, oh gosh, I would say 20 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
The original city of the elves that used to dwell here, well, had to move. And
Right.
now, whatever is left is now up ahead.
And I'm assuming that a lot of people were lost in the fire.
Your assumption would be correct.
Was it set intentionally or just a freak disaster?
No one really knows, to be honest. It just kind of popped out of nowhere, and by the time it was too far gone, or by the time anybody really even noticed that it was a thing, it was too far along for anyone to do anything about it.
Well, thank you for telling me. Did you lose anyone in the fire?
She takes a deep breath in, and then Ziriel pipes up. Okay, so we're here. This is the Elven City. Welcome home. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Nice.